with Martin Houston and Fowler on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the
As we welcome you into Alabama Tradition, live in Tuscaloosa, waiting the Heisman celebration. We are going to get that started. We're going to be talking about it. We're going to be breaking it down. Mark Houston, myself, Ryan Fowler, as we will get on with the show. We're going to talk about Alabama, but we're also going to carry that live tonight. And you know the filler, right? They get about 40 a little backstory and talking about the different celebration. It's a virtual, so it's maybe not as much meat and potatoes maybe as it has been in the past. But when you back up, you got two players at the University of Alabama, and that adds to the value. So we're going to be talking about Devontae Smith and Mac Jones. We will carry the announcement. We will carry the speech live. And then we will have a reaction show following that. Martin Houston, myself, will carry you all the way into that. Then we'll switch over for just a couple of minutes. We'll let ESPN make the announcement live. You will hear that here. And then we will switch back and we'll do a reaction. We'll let either a celebration or will be a disappointment. Martin Houston, I hope all is well, my friend. Welcome into Alabama Tradition.
All is well, Ryan, and glad to be in with you tonight.
Well, Martin, I got to tell you, man, it's a very busy day today. We've had a lot of different stories that are lying around, and I don't even know where we start. We've got an offensive coordinator that will be leaving us. That's big news. We've got Jalen Waddle returning to practice, right? We've got Alabama collecting all the different awards and postseason things, including the Heisman that'll be awarded hopefully tonight. Alabama guy walks out of that. We've got the COVID-19 issues around Ohio State and the talking about the possibility of the cancellation or not the cancellation, but the postponement of that national championship game. We've got different athletic directors, including Greg Byrne, saying that everything is good to go. We've got people saying the Big Ten is trying to govern Ohio State that maybe would prevent some of the contact tracing side of things. It's like, where do you start, Martin Houston?
Well, I give
Notre Dame too.
Oh yeah, don't forget about that. That's why we're playing in this game. But Ryan, I'm gonna tell you, as soon as my wife heard about the Ohio State, now my wife is married to a football player and a radio guy, but she's not into the sports scene, right? First thing she said, "I'm to buy time for their quarterback deal."
I fully agree. And it's just, I'd heard about this around 12 o'clock today. And then it's one of those that in this business, you hear a lot of things, but you're not able to discuss everything that you hear because you're not able to have, double sources. You don't have, you're able to kind of lean into it, but somebody kind of prepared me for it. And when it broke about 2:30, I went, uh-oh, here it goes. So we have spoken to different people talking about up there, and we've had different sources. Either way, Justin Fields, let's go back to that hit, Martin. How much college football has changed? I didn't think it was targeting. How about you?
Well, it's targeting based on the fact of how they game and play the game. The running backs do that virtually every time they get ready to initiate contact. But if a defensive player does it, it's targeting. I guess defensive players' necks and spines and concussions aren't as bad as offensive players, or they're just not stupid in the ruling. But anyway, based on the rule and the way
I know a fullback that might have been called for targeting at some of those blocks that you threw back in 1992.
I say all the time, I'd missed a game I'd been out every other half. I mean, I started the first half of one game and probably missed that game, and then I'd start the next game and missed it. I mean, I would not have played a complete game probably my entire career. If, of course, they say change the way you block. Well, that's probably true. but I probably wouldn't have been any good if I changed the way I blocked. I mean, maybe not, but it is sad, and I hate it for the kid, Ryan. And I have no problem with the rule being called. My problem is, why is that any different than a flash? Why is that any different than a chop block? Why are players evicted from the game? They were so pleasing to the media and to the people who were had their eyes on the game that they went so far, and they slowly every year, you notice they bring something back in. This year, at least, the guys didn't get the walk of shame when they got kicked out. Next year, I think it'll be a personal foul. Now, if you get 2 of those in one game, then maybe, Ryan, maybe you get expelled just like you do on a personal foul. How many guys have gotten more than one targeting in a season? Think about that for a second. So you can that tells me that the game has changed, and that players, when they get targetings, it's not as intentional as a foul or unsportsmanlike conduct. That guys get 15 yards and get to keep playing. So that's what I hope to see the rule, and I think it would have served its purpose.
So we're going to talk about Alabama and Ohio State. We're also going to carry the Heisman announcement, and Martin, I can only imagine. I mean, I'm sitting here preparing for this show, and we're talking about Alabama playing in a national championship game, and I'm nervous for these guys. There's 4 guys that are sitting in a room. They're finalists. When you look at Mac Jones, the quarterback at the University of Alabama, Devontae Smith, Kyle Trask for the University of Florida, Clemson's Trevor Lawrence, and next 45 minutes, there is a life that's going to be changed because you become part of a unique fraternity. And I texted a Heisman winner a couple of hours ago, and I said one of my favorite moments of the college football season is the Heisman presentation. But when I see all those legends get up on that stage, it's a fraternity, and to become part of that is a life-changing event.
Well, and Ryan, what makes that so special is that it is voted on not just by people who haven't played the game, but all of those alumnus who have won it before get a chance to speak about it as well. So you're joining, not as you say, a fraternity, and part and partial of the people who are saying that are guys who have hoisted that trophy up before. And it is, I mean, it's something that you can work hard for, but you really have no control whether you get it or not. You know, and so you really, there's probably 5 Heisman Trophy winning performances this year easily. You know, there's not a single guy that's in the top 4 and Najee Harris that did not play well enough to be a Heisman Trophy, winner. They all had, to me, this is a time in a long time where it was literally a Heisman campaign race, where guys every week, the top guys went out for the most part and said, hire me to be the next Heisman. They passed the interview test, if you want to say it another way, and they did it week in and week out.
So, Martin, we've got a lot of take that reaction. We're going to be extending this show. We'll get the presentation in. We'll hear that live as Martin Houston and I will both react to it. Our fingers are crossed when we talk about the Heisman celebration and we talk about the reaction. So we'll be going a little bit of extended time. We're going to get phone calls into the conversation. J. Robin Montgomery, I see you up there. Dinon here in Tuscaloosa. We will take those phone calls and we'll even take it post-reaction. If you want to react to the Ohio State-Alabama matchup, if you want to react to any of the news today, feel free to do that at 205-342-9904. That's Martin Houston, national champion winning fullback at the University of Alabama. I'm Ryan Fowler here on Tide 100.9, the home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Tide 100.9, ITFM. The station in Tuscaloosa for ESPN Radio. Your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. You are listening to Alabama Tradition with Martin Houston and Ryan Fowler. Your connection to Tuscaloosa and the University of Alabama athletics on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, so we will get things started. We continue the conversation. That's Martin Houston. I'm Ryan Fowler. This is Alabama Tradition as we cover the University of Alabama and all things involving the Alabama Crimson Tide. Practice today. Martin, let me ask you, and before we go to J-Rob and Montgomery, let me go back here for Jalen Waddle because he is also reportedly returning to practice, and that's just not reports out there. Nick Saban even telling ESPN's Chris Waddle that he has been cleared when we talk about it. Now, it's all about whether he's going to be able to he's been cleared medically, but can they get him back to where he needs to be? Let me add this to it. This is not from Nick Saban, but I've heard from people that I've spoken to that Jalen Waddle has been quoted in telling them 60 to 70% is where he was early last week. According to Nick Saban, he's been running, but we still need to see him practice. Our medical team will evaluate him as the week goes, and we'll make that decision from there. He wants to play. He's been working hard to get back. It's pretty remarkable when you talk about the work that he's put in to be ready. But, you know, we saw this with Christian Miller and Terrell Lewis, Florida State injury a couple of years ago. They were able to work back, and Terrell Lewis made a play that was key to stopping the Georgia offense and forcing them to kick a field goal that allowed Alabama and Devontae Smith on that second 26. But just your reaction to Jalen Waddle and now having a chance to maybe play in this championship game.
Well, kudos to the young man, first of all, for all the hard work he's put in for us to even be having this conversation. Regardless of whether he plays or not, Ryan, he's helping his team right now. His hard work is helping his team because now Ohio State win and just think, okay, let's stop Devontae Smith because a 70% Jalen Waddle is probably still a pretty good wide receiver that you have to account for. So, like I said, kudos to him. And the goal is that he helps his team. And whether he helps his team by being on the field or if he helps his team by the simple fact that he's a threat to be on the field, it is absolutely good news for Alabama in terms of being prepared to take down the Ohio State Buckeyes.
So when you look at Jalen Waddle and trying to prepare for him, then you add John Mechie and you look at Devontae Smith, maybe being the Heisman winner. You look at the Buckeyes, the rumor that I have heard, now this is only a rumor at this standpoint, but I've heard their defensive front is where the Heisman, twisting words, Heisman and COVID, really a big difference there. But I've heard on their front seven in that defensive line is where they've had COVID issues. You look at that, that's the strength of their team. But you look at the secondary, that's the weakness of their team. If they have to go up against another wide receiver, don't you think Jalen Waddle at 80% is better than most at 100?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even if he doesn't improve from the 70% of 2 weeks ago, because it'll be about 2 full weeks since he made that statement, and a lot can happen, Ryan. Once you get back out there, that progression can happen a lot faster. It's slow, it's steady, it's slow. And then all of a sudden you get out there and mentally you test it and it passes. All of a sudden you're able to jump out there. But yeah, an 80% Jalen Waddle, I'll take that. Ryan, he had 600 yards virtually in 4 games this year. And the other guy is the one that's going to win the Heisman. So if that tells you anything about what type of player he is.
Well, and let me also add this. Let me take Dean on here in Tuscaloosa. Dean, welcome into Alabama Tradition, the past, present, and future of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Man, how are y'all doing this evening?
We're incredible.
Doing good.
Big day, big day. Heisman Trophy. Hey, God bless either one of these. I mean, as long as they give it to a Bama guy, I'm good because I don't know. I just don't want to see them getting stolen from them. Because I think both of them would be very, very good recipients of the trophy. And I believe myself, Devontae, but then again, I read something that Tim Tebow said today. Yes, Devontae made all the plays. He done everything he did, over and above, double team, whatever. But then Mac on the other side has a higher QBR rating than anyone in the history of the game since they started keeping up with that. So both guys would be fantastic recipients of this trophy without a doubt.
Well,
and so as long as one of those guys get it, I'll be happy.
And Denon is a guy that's also a photographer and a member of the media. Him and I sat on the front row many times of Alabama press conference. Martin, when we look at Nick Saban, something that I notice, and I talked with Martin about this yesterday at lunch, is when you ask Devontae Smith or Mac Jones about their self-awards or just trying to isolate something that they did on their own, I almost find that they're almost uncomfortable getting any type of recognition on what their self, because Devontae was asked about it, and it was almost like he was almost embarrassed. It was really unique watching that press conference. That's the way it was almost like, hold on a minute, I didn't do none of this on my own. It's a team. And I hear a lot of players saying it, but when he said it and Mac Jones said it, I almost found like that was so authentic to hear their both reaction.
Yeah, I think those guys, because of the way they approach the game, Ryan, that's why they've been so successful. And you're right. I don't think there's a false bravado or humility either in terms of what these guys have done. And I understand what Tebow is saying, but in terms of the QBR rating, but are we just going to go off of a rating? What's his name? Also in a 12-game season against the best in the history of the SEC, set the single season record. Devontae did after he was supposedly gonna be double teamed more and all of that. And here's what I say about Devontae. You can't argue with either guy, but Mac Jones was going to get the ball every single time. He was going to get the ball every single time. But Devontae had to work to get open. And the guy dropped, like when you see Mac Jones throw a bad pass, it's unusual, but it's not shocking.
Right.
When Devontae drops a pass, you're in shock. Literally,
that was Friday night. Yes.
Yeah, you're my God, he dropped the pass. And think about that for a second. I don't care where it's been thrown, because not every ball he's caught has been perfect. He just makes every single play. And that's why I would give it to him if I was the guy.
Hey, either one of these guys, whoever gets it's going to congratulate the other one, because they know they're a double team here. And it's going to be fun to watch. I'm about like Ryan said earlier. I'm a little bit nervous for all the guys.
I'm sitting here because I know today's going to be a life-changing event, and like I said, I'm sitting here and
oh yeah, I rushed home from work. I said I got to get home and see this. I really want to see their things.
Sure,
but hey, on another level, fellas, both of y'all guys, I know y'all are my brothers in Christ. Over the last few weeks, man, my family, I've spoken to Ryan through text messages. I know Ryan said something one time, I believe, on the radio about it, but my mom, when she passed away last Friday, I never thought I couldn't prepare for this. But I know a lot of listeners are listening. I know Ryan said something about all the listeners. Man, I thank y'all for y'all's prayers. Tough situation, but hey, I'll see her again. I know that for a fact. So,
well, the hardest thing I ever went through, and I would encourage anybody. I know there's been a lot of people. We lost a big Bama fan up in North Alabama today. It was Zach.
Bama Zach.
Yeah, this guy was incredible. Heard a lot of great stories. It's the hardest thing, and told Martin this as a pastor, with Martin having to set aside some funeral. I'm often speechless. I don't know how pastors do it. They have to depend on the Holy Spirit to convict them and allow them to speak through them. But it's one of the hardest things you'll go through. And to be able to comfort somebody. And I know that there's 2 mountaintops to every valley, and you go through these challenges, and you'll think there's days that you're like, man, I can't get through today. But you find a way, and it kind of we look at our faith, and that's what gets encouraged. So
it truly redirects our compass in a way of thinking. You
Hey.
Or reaction will be coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll get there. I'll get Martin Houston's reaction on Chris Owen stepping in for Landon Dixon, because that's really the battle that we're all watching in this national championship game. Offensive line for the University of Alabama that was recognized as the best offensive line in the country. Joe Moore Award, which Alabama won back in 2015, paving the way for that Heisman winning candidate, Derrick Henry. That was 2000 was the inaugural year of that award. They've now come back around with Kyle Flood, and to be able to win it again, we'll talk about it as we continue. That's Martin Houston. I'm Ryan Fowler. This is Alabama Tradition, the past, present, and future of the time.
Buying some pretzel sticks?
Excuse me?
This is your wake-up call from TracFone Wireless.
Okay.
What if you didn't eat all those pretzel sticks by the end of the month, so this store took them back?
Good luck.
That's how some wireless companies are with your data. Wireless gives you unlimited carryover data with active service, so you keep what you pay for. Plans start at $20 a month.
Wow, that's cool.
Sir, are you bothering the customers?
Yeah, hang on. This is your wake-up call, people. TracFone Wireless. Available at major retailers. See terms and conditions at TracFone.com.
Carmen's startup found an angel investor, but now they're asking for a miracle from her development team.
Hello, this is Carmen. It's exciting news. I guess we could launch early.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the name and price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The name your price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Does learning a language feel like this?
No habla español? Hablo. It's hablo? It's hablo.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
Since my husband is from Guatemala, I'll apply what I've learned in Babbel to our real life situations.
The app is so easy to use and it's so practical. It helps you learn things that you will actually need.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
It's out, you have no fun!
Have some fun, man! Talking Alabama Crimson Tide football on Alabama Tradition with Martin Houston and Ryan Fowler in Tuscaloosa on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
So we are less than 30 minutes away from the Heisman announcement. We will carry that live here on Tide 100.9. Martin Houston, myself, it's Alabama Tradition. We do it every Tuesday night from 6 until 7. And then we carry it onward as we're going to delay the show and even go on a few minutes after 7 o'clock, and we'll take a reaction. We'll have either a celebration or to be a reaction, and we'll react. Martin, let's go back to this Heisman here for a couple of minutes, and we're waiting. If Nick Saban stands up, we'll go to him as well, as we're trying to direct all this as a traffic director. Right now, it's they went through Kyle Trask, they've done Trevor Lawrence, and then they'll do Devontae Smith and also Mac Jones. And I'm sure Nick Saban will say something, and we'll carry that live as well. You think Trevor Lawrence has got a case as the most outstanding player in the college football?
Based if it's a career award.
See, I feel
if it's an award, I don't know that he necessarily, with the number of games he missed, 2 or 3 games this year, and then the way he played in this game, I don't know if to vote at that point or not. It would have been, but I think that when you look at, especially, I know some of this is hindsight, but the ACC was 0-6 in bowl games. 0-6.
Wow.
Is he the most talented quarterback in the country? Yeah. Is he the best player in college football? I don't think so. And that's what you're voting for. So if I'll be arguing his case, but I just think had he not had the downfall, Ryan, and unfortunately for him, he's been this good for 3 years. The Heisman a lot of time goes into the guy that gets hot in the right season at the right moment at the right time,
sure,
and surprises you. But because Trevor Lawrence has been so good for so long, like if Mac Jones comes back and does this next year, he wouldn't win the Heisman and may not even be in the conversation for the same performance, because you're like, okay, that's what he can do. Can he raise the bar? And that's the criteria we use on the Trevor Lawrence.
So, Martin, when you look at Kyle Trask, I think you could almost say this, and this is something as a Heisman voter, they'll probably take me away for saying this, but I'm going to be honest. I wish that I could see the best players against the best teams in the postseason. I wish that this award was post-national championship game where you could evaluate, because we look at Kyle Trask and, it is a team recognition, but it's an individual success. You took all those players away from Florida, and you see kind of how average Kyle Trask was in that game as far as the bowl game. So I wish that we could include that. The Heisman ballot is due on the Monday following the Big 12 championship, the SEC championship, that championship Saturday, that first week in December. And then it's due on that Monday at 4 o'clock. You're not able to hold over a ballot, but I almost wish that there was. It was postseason. But look at Kyle Trask. Does he have an argument?
Well, I would agree with you that I wish that it was postseason, because it would give you a chance to determine the whole season. And if you're going to say, you almost need to do it before the championship weekend or after all the bowl games in the college football playoffs. And that way you're either doing it as a regular or a season award. You and I may see things a little different on Trask. I'm probably not as hard on him as you are without having his guys, because Mac Jones is very average quarterback without Devontae Smith, Najee Harris, and Mechie and or Waddle. I think he's an average quarterback. I think Mac Jones would play the same way if all of a sudden he was throwing to Javon Baker and not Mangum. Oh God, that shows you how old I am. Major. What's the other tight end? 88. God. You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Major Tennyson.
Major Tennyson. I knew it was like an old former player's.
Sorry. I'm trying to say Major Ogilvy, but
right. That's what I had. I couldn't get the name out. But my point is, if you're throwing to those guys versus Billingsley and Forrestall and Smith, then you may have a different result. So I'm not as hard on him for that performance because he was consistent all year.
All right, so as we get ready, and we will carry Nick Saban coming up and hopefully talking about his two guys. Dan Bowen's already spoke, the Clemson side of things, and we will carry that announcement coming up in the next couple of minutes. Martin, I set the audience up, and I wanted to ask you about Chris Owens. Landon Dickerson has been the anchor of that Joe Moore Award that was recognized as the top offensive line in all of college football yesterday, going to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Chris Owens having to step in there, evaluate his performance. What do you think?
Well, it was good enough to beat Notre Dame. I think it has to be better if we're going to beat Ohio State. What we saw in that Clemson game was Trevor Lawrence looked average when when the middle was not protected, and the defensive nose tackle for Ohio State lived in Trevor Lawrence's face, as well as the outside guys. And I think that's where Chris Owens has to get better. Would I give him a passing grade for his first start? Yes. Will I say that's going to be good enough for us to beat Ohio State? I would say probably not. It has to be better, Ryan. He got pushed back a lot in terms of stats. Sometimes he didn't get enough drive. When I look into the second half, I think Alabama was trying to not run the clock out, but you know what I mean.
Mac Jones said it, Martin.
Yeah,
he's post-game press conference that they were
trying to take the air out of the game, as air out of the ball, as Nick Saban says. And we couldn't do that. And I think part of the reason we couldn't do that effectively was that we just didn't have the push in the run game. And we may need that against Ohio State. So Chris Owens will have to play better.
Martin Houston, Ryan Fowler, this is Alabama Tradition, the past, present, and future, the Alabama Crimson Tide. The Alabama guys are going to be talking about coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll break here, and that will allow us to set up to get ready for Devontae Smith and Mac Jones. We'll hear those two guys in the same room. What a unique moment it is for the University of Alabama. We will celebrate that moment. We will carry that press conference, that announcement coming up live. We'll hear the speech. I've made a prediction that if Devontae Smith wins it, it will be the shortest speech in Heisman history. A guy of very few words, except yardage and catches and touchdowns and receptions and records. He doesn't talk a lot. He allows his play to do the talking. I predicted maybe a minute or less for Devontae Smith. We'll continue forward of the Alabama tradition, past, present, future of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
I'm so sick.
Ooh, honey.
Seriously? I'm sick.
Oh, honey, it's time for Dayquil Severe, honey. It's Magnum strength cold and flu medicine with soothing, honeylicious taste.
I love you, honey.
And
New Dayquil Severe Honey. This soothing, honeylicious, daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, power through your day medicine.
Of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
The host of the game, Ryan Fowler, and the host of the Martin Houston Show, Martin Houston, have combined to offer a show filled with in-depth analysis of Alabama football and more. Alabama Tradition broadcasts live on Tide 100.9 every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. and is available live and on playback on numerous affiliates around the Southeast. Check out alabamatradition.com for a list of affiliates, as well as other great content.
All right, so this is Alabama Tradition, the past, present, and future of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Mac Jones is getting recognized right now. We're going to dive into that for just a couple of minutes as Brian is having to kind of traffic direct. We're going to go to the announcement as well, and Mac Jones out of Jacksonville, Florida, going to be recognized, and we will get into that, and you give me the thumbs up. We'll get over to that. We'll listen to a couple of minutes of that, and we'll get right back here. This is ESPN talking about the starting quarterback at Alabama.
Jacksonville Beach kid and a jokester from the beginning, the youngest of three and center of attention, always happy, making everyone smile. Encouraged to try everything, Matt got into music, acting, and modeling, which helped develop memorization skills and footwork. Father Gordon, Mother Holly, and older siblings Brill and Sarah Jane were all college athletes. Mac dove into various sports too, but a passion for football and early skills slinging the pigskin a long way made his choice easy. Jones arrived at Bama somewhat in the shadows and waited, watching, laboring, and learning, first from Jalen Hurts, then Tua Tagovailoa. Mac has earned 2 college degrees with a straight A GPA. He credits consistent grinding more than natural gifts.
Mac looks, end zone, touchdown! Wow!
Don't act like an NFL vet. Adjust nimbly on the fly, even as a first-year starter, brings contagious calm to the huddle. It takes moxie to lead the many alphas at Alabama, and Mac is poised, precise in the pocket. His signature deep ball daggers, slicing defenses to pieces with astounding accuracy. That's even better than the prodigy who preceded him.
Check out the numbers. On passes thrown more than 20 yards downfield. Those elite deep plays are what separate teams, and he was second in completion percentage, 14 touchdowns on the deep balls. Yards per attempt, absolutely off the charts. So much for solid, but not special. Maria, teammates call him the Joker. He's got kind of a quirky laugh and admits he's kind of an eccentric cat walking around talking to himself at the football complex.
Well, either way you slice it, Chris, since Mac Jones was a kid, he's known exactly where he was supposed to be. Check this out. When he was 7 years old, he wrote a letter saying that he wanted to be an NFL player. And guess what? Now he sits in the Heisman Trophy finalist section of the schoolyard, and that's on his way to still completing that dream, obviously. He wrote that in 2005, and now Mac Jones joining me now, and I see the family. They're looking nice. They're here to support you, Mac. But I want to start with that childhood dream. You've always known that you wanted to make it to the pros. Did you expect that that would involve a stop at the Heisman Trophy finalist ceremony?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had a dream just to play college football and to have an attempt to win a national championship. So I'm just blessed to be at the University of Alabama. And a lot of people have told me along my journey that I'd never make it. And I just kind of put my head down and went to work and had help from a lot of great people.
You know, I spoke to your parents, and your mom, Holly, was telling me about how you itemized your playbooks, how you would actually do throwing practice in your apartment. How did you prepare for this season, and how did it allow you to have the performance that we've been able to watch on your way to a national championship game?
Yeah, I think preparation is a big thing for me. You know, just not being the most athletic guy. I just have to kind of rely on my preparation and see things before they happen, and then get the ball to the players around me. But it's really just preparation. In practice, in the film room, at the indoor, wherever I need to get it. It just comes from that.
You know, Mac, you're another one of those extraordinary stories in perseverance. What would you say to a young kid, maybe that's kind of waiting their turn, that isn't a starter yet, but they need that opportunity? What would your advice be to them?
Yeah, I'd say for anybody, just pursue your dream and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something, because along the road, if you love something and you put your heart to it, you should be able to do it, and don't let anybody tell you no.
Well, you're living proof of that, and we will certainly enjoy continuing to watch you on this ride in the national championship. Obviously, Mac Jones preparing in Tuscaloosa, Mom Holly, Dad Gordon, and his sister Sarah Jane, they're all hanging out too, and obviously being supportive. Brother Will, he even dressed up for us today. So good luck, Mac, the rest of the night.
Thank you.
It's special to share an evening like this, not just with a teammate, but a classmate. When you come in the same recruiting class to a place like Alabama, which is the deepest end of the pool, you have that holy bleat moment, then you try to adjust and lean on each other. And certainly Devontae and Mac did that. You know, Jones to Smith, what could not sound more generic, more dynamic. Devontae may line up on the edge most of the time, but he was the central focus for almost all the opponents, and they still couldn't slow him down. At wide receiver U, Smith grew from protege to mentor to legend, the all-time Alabama leader in receiving yards.
Devontae was born and raised in tiny Amite, Louisiana. To family, he was simply Tay, the kid who was always smiling and shining. A phenom at whatever sport he tried, football, track, basketball. Check his soaring dunks at 6'1". Devontae led the Amite Warriors to the 3A state championship game. The five-star recruit chose the Crimson Tide, arriving in Tuscaloosa with classmates Tua Tagovailoa and Mac Jones. Pushed by a stellar receiving corps, Smith made a massive splash to cap his rookie season with the ring.
Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins! True freshman to true freshman.
Devontae's personality emerged through his fresh style. Tailored suits and fly bow ties. The look is meticulous and mirrors his methods on the field.
I don't care who watching, I'ma do my dance like, hey!
To teammates, he is Smitty. Still skinny, but so savvy. Mac Jones calls him his co-pilot. Devontae sees all and knows all. Tactician and technician. Team's 2 moves ahead of defenders. Number 6 is plenty fast, but extremely smooth. With long arms, soft hands, quiet toughness, and fierce competitive drive to play his best against the best.
Check out the performances in Bama's biggest games. Not to mention 3 more touchdowns after the voting closed. Was number 1 in yards after the catch. A bunch more catches and yards than anyone else in the country. At 98 catches with only 2 drops, and Rhea, that is A++ grade for the season.
You're right, Chris. And I can tell you a place where they're super excited to see those numbers go up. How about Amite, Louisiana, the hometown of Devontae Smith, where it's about a town of 2,400. How about 125 of them socially distant, wearing their mask and having a watch party at the community center? And that's where we find Mom, Christina. And I got to ask you, what has it been like to see the community rally around your son and his performances all season long?
It's been amazing. We all have enjoyed the ride. Devontae has been tremendous to the community. Everyone has been behind him, supporting him from day one, and we're just enjoying it.
All right, now, Dad, Kelvin, listen, Christina already told me that she was the loud fan, and you were the one that sat in the back and watched and maybe gave your feedback a little bit later. But what's it been like to watch your son rise to this occasion this season?
Well, first and foremost, it's a blessing to be here to watch our son up for one of the finalists for one of the greatest awards in college football. He always listen. He always do what we ask him to do, and now he's going to be a nice young man.
Well, Devontae, I've got to get your response to seeing all the community support behind your mom and dad as they all wait and watch and listen to this Heisman Trophy finalist celebration. Devontae, can you hear Maria?
Yes, ma'am.
What's it like to see all of your friends and family waiting to hear whether or not you're going to win a Heisman Trophy this year?
It means a lot to me just knowing that the community has backed me up since I made my decision to come to the University of Alabama, and they've been with me every step of the way.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Devontae. We love the style because we knew you were going to come with something special. So the burgundy suit is great. Now we welcome in your head coach, Nick Saban. And Coach, I know you already had practice today, but it's the 8th time in Heisman history that there are multiple players from the same team that are finalists. How would you describe the way you've seen Mac and Devontae grow throughout this season?
Well, I think for all the folks out there that have young people who are looking for somebody to emulate, these two guys have probably done it as well as anybody that I've ever had the opportunity to coach. They're first-class people. They're great competitors. They set great examples as leaders, and they've just done a great job in our community representing our university, and they're great ambassadors in every way, shape, and form for the program. So these are the greatest young men that anybody could ever have the opportunity to emulate.
Well, thank you, Coach, so much for joining us, and great praise from Coach Saban for his players tonight, Chris.
Thank you, Maria. Najee Harris, running back, also had a Heisman-worthy type finalist season, and he finished 5th, so tremendous talent on that roster. We're counting down to the announcement, and then live college basketball, the Tar Heels and the Miami Hurricanes from the ACC at 8 o'clock Eastern time. One final timeout, and then we'll find out who will join this wall of Heisman Trophy winning portraits. The winners joining us live from their homes to welcome in the new member, all of them looking sharp.
And we will welcome you right back into Alabama tradition. We will be setting up that announcement coming within the next 3 or 4 minutes. We'll break here. The live announcement with Chris Fowler and Maria Taylor, ESPN. Bart Houston, Ryan Fowler, we will be doing a post-Heisman reaction show to whoever wins that Heisman Trophy. We will carry that coming up in just a couple of seconds right here on Alabama Tradition, the past, present, and future of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
If you own a small business, you know how hard it can be to find new customers. But maybe you're unaware of new tools that can help your business stand out. Go to GetLocalCustomersNow.com for a free market competitive analysis that will show you what other businesses are doing to find new customers and how you can do it too. There's no cost and no obligation. Be one of the first business owners to sign up and receive $500 in free advertising on this station. Get started today. Visit GetLocalCustomersNow.com. That's GetLocalCustomersNow.com.
Buying some pretzel sticks?
Excuse me?
This is your wake-up call from TracFone Wireless.
Okay.
What if you didn't eat all those pretzel sticks by the end of the month, so this store took them back?
Good luck.
That's how some wireless companies are with your data, but TracFone Wireless gives you unlimited carryover data with active service, so you keep what you pay for. Plans start at $20 a month.
Wow, that's cool.
Sir, are you bothering the customers?
Yeah, hang on.
This is your wake-up call, people. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control.
Available at major retailers. See terms and conditions at TracFone.com.
Carmen's startup found an angel investor, but now they're asking for a miracle from her development team.
Hello, this is Carmen. That's exciting news. I guess we could launch early.
It's time to hire.
Indeed.
Indeed, you did. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, it's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The host of the game, Ryan Fowler, and the host of the Martin Houston Show, Martin Houston, have combined to offer a show filled with in-depth analysis of Alabama football and more. Alabama Tradition broadcasts live on Tide 100.9 every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. and is available live and on playback on numerous affiliates around the Southeast. Check out alabamatradition.com for a list of affiliates, as well as other great content.
All right, so we welcome you right back into Alabama Tradition. That's Martin Houston. I'm Ryan Fowler. We're going to go right back to the Heisman celebration coming up here in the next couple of seconds. As you guys give me the thumbs up, we will be going back to a virtual press conference or an announcement with Chris Fowler, Maria Taylor on ESPN. And we will get right back to that coming up here in just a couple of seconds. So you guys give me the thumbs up when we're ready to go. Let's go right back to it because the announcement's coming up here in just a couple of seconds. Kyle Trask, Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Devontae Smith, one of those guys, life will be changed. Here we go with the announcement, and we will come back with a post-show reaction here from the Heisman presentation.
but by all the people in their past who breathed their dreams into existence.
There's a time, there's a place. The time is now. And I saving grace. I'm more than start the show. Now here today. The time is now to find our saving grace.
The past is a complicated idea. Our recent past has threatened important things like family, and silly things like trophies and games. It seems like 10 years ago that Joe Burrow won this award and gave his heartfelt speech.
You took a chance on me, not knowing if I could play or not. He just means so much to me and my family.
But the past also offers the promise that things will once again be normal, and that in times of crisis and fear, we will find a way forward with our families, with our brothers and sisters in arms, with each other.
We thank Ray Thompson for the eloquence of his words, and we thank all four Heisman finalists for inspiring us with their example, their substance in this difficult and challenging season. But there can only be one name to join the roster of Heisman Trophy winners. We hope you've enjoyed the journey tonight. From the 50s, Pete Dawkins. From the 60s, we have John Ewart, Mike Garrett, and Steve Spurrier with us. From the 70s, Golden Anniversary winner Jim Plunkett, Johnny Rogers, Archie Griffin, the only two-time winner, Earl Campbell, and Billy Sims. From the 80s, George Rogers, Herschel Walker, Mike Brozier, Doug Flutie, Tim Brown, Andre Ware. From the 90s, Ty Detmer, Desmond Howard, Gino Torretta, Silver Anniversary winner Eddie George, Danny Werfel, and Ricky Williams. And from the 2000s, the era of quarterbacks, we got Chris Winkie, Eric Crouch, Matt Leinart, Troy Smith, and Tim Tebow. Guys, all smiles. Some of those guys are actually nervous too. And the journeys from kids to finalists, a Heisman Trophy winner will now be complete in just seconds. And joining us here to make the announcement, please welcome Heisman Trophy trustee Ann Donahue. Ann, the floor and the envelope is yours.
Thank you, Chris. I'm grateful for the opportunity to announce the 2020 Heisman Trophy winner. Congratulations to the finalists, Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Devontae Smith, and Kyle Trask. In a season that almost wasn't, you brought distraction, hope, and inspiration, lifting spirits during a very dark time. And to the winner, be mindful that you will become a member of the most elite athletic fraternity in the world, that your name will forever be associated with the legacy of being a Heisman Trophy winner. And now, without further ado, the 2020 winner of the Heisman Trophy is Devontae Smith of the University of Alabama.
And thank you very much. Devontae, congratulations. The feel of this is a little bit different, but we'd like to invite you to pick up that beautiful 25-pound Heisman Trophy, which is very near you. Get the feel of it for the first time, and then the floor is yours for your remarks. In the 28-year drought between wide receiving winners of the Heisman Trophy, from Desmond Howard to Devontae Smith, is now over. Devontae, all yours.
First off, I would like to thank God. Without him, none of this would be possible. Congratulate all the finalists. Just to be in this situation with you guys, y'all are great athletes, and just to be a part of something like this is truly a blessing. I want to thank my family, my mom, my dad, just everything that y'all taught me to mold me into the young man I am today. I want to thank my mentor, Vincent Sanders. Without you, I wouldn't be where I am today. Just from the rise to taking me places that I want to visit, just to doing things and just helping me get to where I am. I want to thank Coach Saban for giving me the opportunity to come play at the University of Alabama. Thank Coach Wiggins, my receiver coach, just for helping me day in and day out, watching film, making me a better player. Thank my teammates. With team success comes individual success. So without y'all, I wouldn't be where I am today, winning this award. And just to all the young kids out there that's not the biggest, not the strongest, just keep pushing, because I'm not the biggest. I've been doubted a lot just because of my size. And really, it just comes down to you put your mind to it, you can do it. No job is too big. If you put your mind to it, you can do it, and just keep believing in God, and you'll get where you want to be. I would like to thank Jeff Allen and the athletic training staff here for giving me all the resources to continue playing this game, to keep me healthy, so I can go out there and do the things that I like to do. Thank our president, Dr. Bill, and our athletic director, Mr. Burns, just for being here and making everything possible with COVID going on and giving us a chance to play this season. Thank you. Roll Tide.
Devontae, thank you very much. They are thrilled in Amite, Louisiana. They've been nervous, no doubt, for the last hour at the watch party, but they got the announcement that they wanted to hear. I wanted to talk to you. We spoke on the phone a couple of days ago. I said, just in case you have a speech ready, you said you didn't really have one ready, but like everything else, you proved to be a very quick study. Your message was great. You were, maybe about 160 pounds or so when you showed up at the campus at Tuscaloosa. So to all those who have been told you're not quite this, not quite that, it's quite a journey from Amite to Heisman Trophy winner.
It's just unbelievable. Just coming from a small place like that, you just really have to work day in and day out and just believe in yourself. And if don't nobody else believe you, you just have to believe in yourself and just prove everybody wrong.
We also talked the other day about the power of the collective. You get to that school and it's wide receiver you've got Calvin Ridley and Jerry Jeudy and Henry Ruggs. The wide receiver room is unbelievable. Talk about how you guys pushed each other and how those mentors helped you get here to this moment.
It's just a family. Just when you got here, everybody was on the same mission to become the best player that they can be, and everybody helped each other in a different way. And just being around those guys, they've taught me so much, just from things on the field to off the field, and they just guided me to where I am today, and I'm so thankful for them.
Some of the folks from Amite, you paid tribute to them. Some of those folks are probably mad when you didn't choose LSU. Your high school colors and the uniforms look just like the Bayou Bengals, but you also thank them for their support. What does it mean to have all those folks gather to be able to share long distance in this moment with you?
It means a lot. Just some of those people have seen me since I was a little kid playing youth football, youth basketball, just seeing me come up, and just they've been there every step of the way. Even when I decided to come here, some of them, they still decided to just follow my journey and just be there with me every step of the way.
Once again, congratulations. We know this was another practice day of preparation for the national championship game. Look forward to seeing you and Mac Jones down there in Miami. Maria, let's take a look at some of the moments there. The moment when it becomes real after all this surreal season, a hug with Mac Jones, a moment's hesitation and disbelief from the front row in Amite.
It's incredible, isn't it, Chris?
As Devontae said, they shared in every step of the journey. They were no doubt a lot more nervous than he was watching this last hour unfold.
It's incredible.
So Devontae Smith and Martin Houston and I were celebrating. Devontae Smith picks up the Heisman Trophy. We're going to do a reaction and a celebration show. That was our plan to hopefully be celebrating. We could always have disappointment, but Martin Houston, just your reaction. I mean, you're a part of that Alabama fraternity of wearing that crimson jersey, and now to be able to celebrate our third Heisman Trophy, Devontae Smith winning it all.
Well, Ryan, first of all, congratulations to the young man. He seems to be everything you would want in a football player. Nick Saban says it quite often: when your best player is your best guy and your hardest worker, it makes his job a lot easier. And I believe they have all of that in Devontae Smith. And so just a great story. He hit on it a little bit, how he was doubted, questioned as far as his size and strength and et cetera. And all he did was accentuate his strengths and minimize his weaknesses, and competed every day. When he stepped on the field, you knew what you were going to get. And we're celebrating his Heisman Trophy. Ryan, this kid's been like this since day one. He just got a chance to be the man this year. In other words, if you go back and look over the past 4 years, he has always been the best receiver in the biggest games, in the biggest moments. I mean, literally, you can trace that. But you know what else this says, Ryan?
Help me.
4 years ago, Nick Saban was old school, about washed up, and
that's receiver's a Heisman Trophy winner.
There you go. And his quarterback is probably the runner up. We hadn't had those statistics, but what does that say about him? Think about that. He was a defensive coach who had now he has the most prolific offense, and within a generation, and when I say generation, almost within one class, Ryan, he went from, a pro run it down your throat to a wide open offense to the point where you had 2 finalists and 3 offensive guys in the top 5.
And Martin Nick Saban said, and I've said it a couple times, when you look at Nick Saban challenged college football, and he said, do you guys want this? Is this where you want to go with college football? And now he's taken it. You watch the conversation. It may be, it will probably be a conversation of, hey, do we back off of it now? Do we change some of that? But all the players recognizing Devontae Smith as, I guess you look at, Johnny Rodgers would have been a wide receiver, right? So Johnny Rodgers, a specialist, a guy that also has the Johnny Rodgers Jet Award, but it's just, wow. I mean, what do you say when you Devontae Smith? We're taking your reaction. We would love to have you. We're doing a post-reaction show. Martin Houston, Ryan Fowler. Martin, I got to go back to that second 26, the play, and I've shared this moment multiple times, walking in that locker room, seeing Devontae Smith create one of the greatest plays in Alabama history. I think it's the greatest. You can certainly have a debate. The goal line stand would be a part of that conversation. Many others that you could consider. When you play in Tuscaloosa, you've got many great moments. But one of the things that he celebrated throughout that offseason, and I told you the story of getting back with him on Media Day in August. And one of the things that Devontae Smith said is he said, I want to be known for more than just being that one play. That play is a historic play with Devontae Smith, no doubt. You did it last year, and you did it again this year, becoming the 3rd Heisman Trophy winner in the University of Alabama history. Amazing season, historic, and you hope Alabama can seal the deal and win the championship, and then we can start having the discussion that we've not had at this point, but we will post-championship if Alabama is able to get the job done.
Yeah, if you look at Devontae Smith, and yes, he's done it, Ryan. He's won the Heisman Trophy in an era of quarterback dominance. He stuck his head in there and got it through hard work and sheer grit. But like I said, the kid's been unbelievable from the beginning. And I heard a conversation, and it was on my show, and I've heard on several shows. Is he the best wide receiver to ever play at Alabama? And, huh?
Yes, he is.
Well, and some people always want to bring Julio Jones into the conversation. People always want to bring in Jerry Jeudy and Calvin Ridley and, all of those guys, guess what? They are probably more talented than him. They're faster. They're bigger. They're taller. They're stronger. And the question was never who's the most talented receiver. The question is who's the best to ever play. And that's two different conversations, in my opinion. And when you come, there's been few people, when you look at the history of Alabama, Ryan, who you can say clearly is the best at their position. And I think Devontae Smith has done that this year. Like in the running back conversation, we've had 2 Heisman Trophy winners, but we still will have a lot of debate over who's the best. I don't think there's a debate over who's the best wide receiver. Maybe a debate over who's the most talented. And some of those guys may would have done more if they had been in this offense, but they weren't. All I know is we had a guy, Ryan, who came back for his senior year to get better, and everybody thought that he was doing what he was doing because he had the benefit of another first-round draft pick. He gets taken out, talking about Waddle. Devontae Smith did was get better. I will never, ever, as long as I watch football, forget Coach O's response on the sideline. He threw his headsets, Ryan, and he was upset because he said, we're supposed to be double-teaming the guy. Think about it. That was their plan, and the guy broke the record for yards in the first half, and while he was being double-teamed. So clearly the best player, something that no one else has ever done in the great history of our program at his position, the first ever to rise to that. And think about it, first time in 28 years or 29, whatever number of years it is.
So we're going to get into the conversation as Alabama gets the 3rd Heisman Trophy. We want you to be a part of this celebration as we celebrate. Martin Houston and I giving some extra time, and we appreciate, for one, our program director, Joe Gaither, David DeBose, for giving us the opportunity to do a little bit of a celebration. We thought Alabama had a chance, at least a 50-50 chance when you look at 2 of the 4 guys, and we are celebrating that. We'd love to have you to jump in and kind of give your reaction. This is a caller-friendly here as we celebrate the 3rd Heisman Trophy in a crimson jersey. Let's go to David in Tampa, Florida. David, you're in Alabama tradition celebrating the 3rd Heisman Trophy. Your reaction?
Man, I just wanted to call and congratulate Devontae Smith. I am so happy for him. I was nervous, going in because I thought that, Trevor might get the split vote, and
it was close.
Pull that out.
It was close on certain aspects, but it really wasn't close on first place vote. So you may give you the breakdown, David. Do you have it?
Sure.
Okay. Devontae Smith received first place votes 447, total points 1,856. It really wasn't close. I was looking at the wrong math. I'm sorry. Trevor Lawrence was 222 first place votes, 1,187. Mac Jones, 138 first place votes, 1,130 points. Kyle Trask, 4th, and then Najee Harris received 16 first place votes. There's a lot of running backs must be voting out there, Martin. 16 first place votes for Najee Harris, 216 votes. But Trevor Lawrence finished in 2nd. That's a head scratcher a little bit.
Yeah, I think they got Mac Jones wrong. That
well, I think what.
I don't want to bring anything else down. I just want to congratulate Devontae. He took an opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity, to catch the 2nd and 26, and he's pretty much made that an afterthought. That's not the first thing I think of when I think of Devontae now, and that says something about his accomplishments at Alabama.
That is such a great point. You look at that and where that ranks in what he's done. I mean, when you really list out what he's done, single season touchdown record, career record, all-time receiving yards, all-time receiving touchdowns at Alabama. All of a sudden, 2nd and 26 is, man, that's a really good play, but I don't even know if it makes his top 10. I mean, that's just crazy to think about.
It is.
Hey, Martin. We talk about it. David. I'm gonna make you a part of this as, which is the strength coach at the University of Alabama. This is what Devontae's day started at. Okay, we're preparing for a national championship. He started this morning at 6:30 a.m. with his morning workout. 12 hours later, he gets the award. Pretty incredible day. And that's the type of work ethic, man. Work ethic pays off. It pays. And Devontae Smith hoisting up that 25-pound Heisman Trophy.
Wow.
That's a big day.
He's been doing it a while, man. He's an asset to our university. I'm glad he
will be
Alabama.
an ambassador for a long time, just like the other two guys, and Mark Ingram and Derrick Henry, and just a class act when you look at Devontae Smith. And you're kind of excited to see what he's going to be able to do at the next level, to be able to connect on a great team and to be able to do great things. Devontae Smith becomes Alabama's third Heisman Trophy winner. Pretty incredible.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank
No
you.
time.
Martin, how common was it? Because I've heard some kind of rumblings about Devontae Smith after practice. Now, we're talking about Alabama's practice against the best of the best, and we will go back to phone calls if people want to jump in at 205-342-9904. Alabama wins their third Heisman Trophy. We're doing a reaction show, and we're going to go for a few minutes. If you want to be a part of it, we'd love to have you. I think we've promised you at least 7:30, and we will break and we'll come back and reset. But, Martin, how uncommon was it for people to stay after practice? Because I've been told that Devontae Smith catches no less than 100 passes after practice just to make sure that he's preparing for it.
Well, I mean, have guys stay. It was common because guys got in trouble. Oh, you mean voluntarily stayed?
Yeah. I wasn't talking about running.
You were talking about the punishment run.
Yeah.
No, just different guys. Ryan, like guys would do that probably on a regular basis, I would say, but it was more about working on something that week or something that they needed to improve on. It wasn't like every single day. Now, there may have been a guy that did that, but I don't know of anyone. And Ryan, he catches 100 plus balls every single practice. No one, he doesn't drop the ball. I mean, you got
to find a quarterback to go throw him, right? I mean, I know.
No, he used the machine, and that ball is humming. I don't know. I saw him when they had it set. Mac Jones' arm isn't that strong.
Turn it up a little bit, turn it down a little bit.
Yeah. So it's impressive, and like I said, it couldn't happen for a better young man. I think he caught a perfect storm. I think in any other season we may still be talking about quarterbacks, Ryan, but he parlayed an opportunity into something great, and so happy for the young man.
Very, very happy as we celebrate Devontae Smith becoming that third Heisman. We're going to break here. We'll come back. If you want to be a part of it, we'll do the reaction show for a few more minutes as Alabama captures a third Heisman Trophy. Nick Saban talking about his two guys, and we'll continue that conversation. I will say this, Devontae Smith, he proved me wrong. His Heisman speech was longer. He
made it.
And what a
46 seconds. No, just kidding.
No,
I saw somebody say 45.
It was good.
It was good though. It was not the longest speech, but it was very well thought out, and he got all the right thank yous in. And I like the little, hey, if people are telling you that you're small and you can't do it, keep grinding, keep doing it.
So Devontae Smith becomes the first wide receiver in the Southeastern Conference to win the Heisman Trophy. We're celebrating that. We're doing a live show as we react to it. Martin Houston, Ryan Fowler. This is Tide 100.9, the home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Or we are even born. It is with us until the day we take our last breath. So when it comes to matters of the heart, it is best to leave it to those who know how to keep that beat going.
Cardiology Consultants has provided West Alabama the highest quality, state-of-the-art cardiovascular services. Dr. William Hill, Jeffrey Anderson, Ann Lewis, Amit Shah, Edward Caraway, and Brad Proctor, all board certified.
The perfect place to make your escape. Golden Moon offers 600 finely appointed rooms with incredible views. Take a dip in our Vegas-style infinity pool, complete with a full-service bar and cabanas. Experience the South's premier golf destination at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, or catch the biggest sporting events at Time Out Lounge. So what are you waiting for? Come see us in Choctaw, Mississippi. Golden Moon Hotel and Casino, a Pearl River Resort property.
What can help you take advantage of today's low mortgage rates and save money? Rocket can. You can save hundreds of dollars every month by refinancing with Rocket Mortgage at today's near historic low rates. If your current rate is over 4%, you could lower your payment by over $150 a month, saving thousands in interest every year. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Savings are based on quick loans, internal data. Points and fees may apply. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal house letter. License in all 50 states and consumer.org number 330.
Does learning a language feel like this?
No habla español? Hablo. It's hablo? It's hablo.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
Since my husband is from Guatemala, I'll apply what I've learned in Babbel to our real life situations.
The app is so easy to use and it's so practical. It helps you learn things that you will actually need.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com, Babbel.com.
Your home for Alabama Crimson Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, so we're celebrating Devontae Smith of capturing the third Heisman Trophy as we welcome you back into a reaction show and the celebration happening here in Tuscaloosa. Devontae Smith captures the third Heisman Trophy, and I'm going to welcome back in Martin Houston, my colleague here at Tide 100.9. He does the morning show from 6 a.m. Starting every morning. And Martin, I don't know if you've seen it, but I want to get your instant reaction because you're really good at this, and I know it will be authentic. Texas football has tweeted out a photo of Sark. Record-setting offense produced 2 Heisman finalists and using Devontae Smith to promote their program. What do you think?
Brilliant.
No, come on, Martin. I mean, I'm chewing nails, man.
I don't like it. I don't like it. But if you're an offensive player right now, you know, you have to be excited if you're an offensive guy in the state of Texas. I was shocked that Ellington did not choose to come back, you know, and we still, I would not be surprised if we don't hear that he has decided to come back with Sark being on board with the program. So, but maybe Sark's taking somebody with him or got somebody coming. I'm just kidding, Alabama fans.
I know where you're going, but I don't like it when they do it. Like if you look at Tennessee a couple of years ago, they did the recruiting poster of using all the guys from the Alabama and the NFL.
Yeah,
that's our player, man. They ain't Texas player.
Well. Here's what it does. It still it helps Texas against all the others, but it doesn't help them against us. It's kind of like why go play for the copycat when you can, you know, play for the original. Because all you have to do is show before Sark, and after Sark, and we're still producing those types of players. So that part is going to be interesting. But if I'm Texas, I think it's brilliant. I think it's cheesy that they did it this quick afterwards, though. I would have had that. I would have had that when we have his press conference, if that makes sense. I wouldn't have done it while he was still on staff here.
They worked on a graphic. They've got the, you know, it's anyway.
Yeah, your crimson glasses just shattered.
I
They shattered, didn't they?
An hour, 22 minutes. But I was nervous. I mean, I'm telling you, man, I got to go and get some extra deodorant on or something. I mean, I was sweating during that because I just know how Alabama guys have been treated in the past with some of these votes, and I was nervous.
Well, I think the perfect storm happened for Devontae. I think people finally looked at this and said, let's not look at the statistical, or let's give this to the best college player. Let's vote in such a way that if we don't think he's the best player overall, that we don't hurt him by putting him third or not putting him on the ballot. And I think that's what you had, was a lot of people put him. How many total votes is there, Ryan? 700 and something?
I think it's over 100. You got almost 60.
It's 800,
that
you
is, said? No, it's actually it's about 800 members of the media. No, 750. I got to go look because there's a fan vote that's one vote. I could do the math, but
my point behind it is still made, whether it's 750 or 850. Devontae got a lot of first place votes, but he also got a lot of second place votes. He didn't.
And you told me that yesterday was one of the reasons why you thought he'd win.
Yeah,
because nobody's going to put below second.
Yeah, nobody's going to put him. I don't think anybody. If you had a quarterback as your guy, you put him, and then you put Devontae second. I doubt very seriously if he fell on very many ballots at third or not on the ballot at all. And that's how you win this thing. It's not just, a lot of people don't know that, Ryan. A lot of people think it's just about who's voted the best player. And to me, that helps balance it out some. People have their preferences for number one, and then you turn around and you get, okay, this is my preference, but this guy's also really good, and it balances out. And that's why Devontae Smith is hoisting that. Well, let me say it this way. He touched it. I don't know if anyone, I was watching it, Ryan. Were you watching it?
Kind of. Yeah.
Kind of. I was kind of watching it as well. So if people wondering what was going on in my eyes, I was kind of like looking at the television and all that. He didn't really pick it up, did he? He kind of touched it a little bit. Most of the time the guys try to pick it up and hold it up, and they realize just how heavy it is. Devontae said, "No, not about to drop this pass either."
Hey, but he is, and we're going to get reaction. We're going to go to Richmond, Virginia. Terry, you're in with Martin Houston and Ryan Fowler on a celebration of Alabama's third Heisman Trophy winner.
Hey, Ryan, and hello, Martin.
Hey, now.
When I talk to you. Hey, Coach Bryant always had a word that he loved I think is so fitting today for Devontae and for Mac Jones, and that's class. And those guys both have a tremendous amount of class. And I was so proud of both of those guys, and especially to Devontae for winning it. And I thought it was just very obvious all year the way he just kept coming on and on. The catches, the separation that he showed. I mean, he just outclassed the whole field to me. And I just thought it was tremendous.
Well, as Martin said, and Cornelius Bennett corrects me when I do this often on social networks, but I'll say, I'm biased. Derek Thomas, my favorite all-time player. You try to, and by no means, you never do it to disrespect. You do it to preserve the legacy. But Martin and I were talking about Devontae Smith. I don't think there's any doubt that he's the greatest wide receiver to ever play in Tuscaloosa. That's no disrespect to Ozzie Newsome. By the way, he's in the running for the Houston Texas general manager job. I just want to put that out there. Looks like he may be one of the finalists there for Ozzie Newsome.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that may be another, and Ozzie's, a Pro Football Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame. Julio Jones will be a College Football Hall of Fame. He's going to be a Pro Football Hall of Fame. Amari Cooper is, we may all be 70 when they get inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame, but he'll be there. I mean, it's not like we're just talking about, average wide receivers. Oh yeah, by the way, Calvin Ridley and Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy. I mean, it's just, you shake your head at what Nick Saban's been able to do.
Yeah, and what Devontae's done. You're exactly right. And, my buddy Rich from Atlanta, and he and I've been talking, we talk all the time, and we both have been on Devontae's bandwagon for a long time. Last year after that Ole Miss game, you remember that? Scored all those touchdowns.
Sure.
I mean, he's just unbelievable, and just keeps getting better. It seems every week, and just I think the nation couldn't, they couldn't help but take notice. You know what I mean? And when Barrett Sallee said that yesterday, I was pretty much shocked that he thought, the Clemson quarterback would win it.
I just don't
know he did.
And I hear what you're saying with what Trevor Lawrence, because I was a little nervous too. I had some anxiety in that first 45 minutes because I thought one of these guys was going to backdoor, and I just.
Yeah, I was, that got me worried too. When Barrett said it, I was feeling real calm and confident about it up until that. And I was like, wait a second. But, year before last, Brad Edwards was really pumping the Oklahoma quarterback that won it. I remember listening to on the radio that night, leading up to the ceremony. And, I was definitely wanting Tua to win it. And Brad was, to say, no, it's going to be, what's the guy's name? I can't even call his name.
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray.
Pardon?
Yeah, Martin said Kyler Murray.
Yeah, Kyler Murray. Which he's got hot there toward the end and, ran away with it. So, but anyway, it's a great night for Alabama, and just very happy for both those young men. And I hope UPS sent, a call tag to Clemson, South Carolina to get their Heisman back. What are they going to do? I hope they send an extra box, and prepaid shipping.
Yeah, and what Terry is talking about, the Heisman Trust sent out 3 Heisman trophies to all 3 schools that were represented as a finalist: Florida, Clemson, and saved some shipping and just shipping 1 to Alabama. But and so he's saying. And listen, I'm not taking away from anything Trevor Lawrence, and I'm not bitter for what he did to us in Santa Clara because he whipped us up and down the field.
He was tremendous. Yeah.
But I just don't, we're, as a Heisman voter, we're asked to separate. If you go through, it says the most outstanding player in college football.
Yeah, that's right.
Trust me. Probably the hardest vote that I've been a part of was this year. And when I started looking through Trevor Lawrence's stats, I don't know if he's top 5 in any statistical category. And I'm not talking about totals, just averages. If you want to look at it,
Yeah.
He did not have the season. It was as Martin said, it was a career award. And I even see people that said that they voted for him. They're entitled to that vote, but
that's not what the Heisman was about. Heisman was supposed to be for that year. This year, and Devontae was just head and shoulders.
Well, look at what he did. And Trevor Lawrence did finish second, and Mac Jones third, Najee Harris fifth, Kyle Trask at 4. But you back up and Jalen Waddle goes down. Martin and Cherry, let me propose this question.
Okay.
Jalen Waddle goes down the Tennessee first play.
Yeah, kick off.
Let's say Jalen does not get hurt. Does Devontae win this thing?
Mac does.
Probably, yeah.
I think Mac would have had even more yards and more statistical.
But maybe that's more impressive of what Devontae's been able to do because
absolutely.
of all the yeah. I mean,
he just kicked it into another gear.
Yep.
Yeah, the separation he gets from these DBs is just unbelievable. And then he makes all the catches. And then he had that catch right before halftime against Texas A&M in the back of the end zone was just tremendous. And then the one against LSU, you know, for Heisman moments.
You know what for me, all of that is special and elite, but as small as he is, I never see one guy bring him down. I never see him go backwards. And he is the most tenacious blocker pound for pound I've ever seen. I mean, the guy I saw it the other day. I don't know, like when Najee broke that tackle, he was about to run across the field and try to get a block. When Mechie caught the pass the other night, he was telling, "Come on, man, I'm gonna lead you to the end zone. Follow me." You know, and prima donna wide receivers, because that's the position that's prima donnas. They don't do that. If they're getting their touches, they're not gonna be in the mix in the blocking the way he is. And so it's the complete wide receiver. I told someone the other day, I said he may not be the number one in any category when you look at attributes. He may not be the tallest. He may not be the biggest. He may not be the best route runner. He may not be the tallest. He may not be the strongest. He may not be any of those things, but he's second in every one of them if he's not first. You know, I mean, he is absolutely the most balanced wide receiver I think I've ever seen. And as you said, he makes all the catches, and he doesn't just make all of them. He makes every one of them. You know, and there's a difference between being able to make all the catches and then making every catch.
Yeah. Hey, and to highlight a couple of different things, and Terry, I do appreciate your call. The Empire State Building is currently crimson and white, congratulating Alabama's Devontae Smith. How cool is that? I mean,
that's awesome.
That's very cool.
Bo Jackson, you even get Bo Jackson to say "Roll Tide" to Devontae Smith. He says, "Congrats, young man," and "Roll Tide" to Devontae Smith on winning the Heisman Trophy. Welcome to the club. That's coming from Bo Jackson. I mean, all these guys.
Very, very cool.
Very, very cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to watch a replay because I listened to it I was on the road. So I've been listening to you, Ryan, ever since, 3 o'clock my time.
This is 6 hours almost in the books.
Yeah. And I'm about to pass out from 2.
Yeah, Martin's about to go to sleep over there. All right, Terry. Thank you, man.
Yeah, he's got to get up early. You guys have a good one.
Thanks, Terry.
Nice talking to you, Martin, and talk to you later, Ryan.
Thanks,
thank you, Terry. We appreciate it.
Right. Thank you.
And Terry, I think I cut you off, and we'll wrap it up here. But let me go quickly to one more phone call. Johnny, you said it earlier. Johnny Coleman, Alabama. Devontae Smith winning the Heisman Trophy.
Johnny in the house, part 2.
Are you staying up late? I mean, are you able to hang in here?
Right.
Well, I mean, I know, but old people.
He dove dirt, right?
I don't know. I think you got him by a couple of years.
I might have. Hey, Martin, let me throw this out here before I forget. You better be thanking God I'm a Christian, because I looked up there at that hat, and it said, the 10 Commandments come to mind. It said, thou shalt not steal.
Well, you've already taken it. You've already taken his T-shirt.
That's what I was going to say.
For that.
You asked for it, or you informed me that you were taking it?
Well, I sort of informed you over the radio. Then you felt sorry for me. Let me go ahead and bring it home.
Yeah. You informed me that you were not leaving without it, so I didn't want you to break the.
I may have worded it that way.
Yeah, I didn't want you to break a commandment, so I went ahead and gave it to you. So,
congrats to Jerry Rice Jr. Who does Dante mind you of? Jerry Rice wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the biggest. But buddy, he was complete.
Yeah.
Wide receiver.
Nice comparison. Nice comparison.
I mean, unbelievable. Congrats. I still say Matt should have been second. That's me. That's my opinion. I got a question for y'all too, because I know you want to go, but I could just keep you up all night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I ain't worried about you, Fowler. You done that before, so I'm used to that. Is it concrete that we're not done with Matt Jones yet?
Martin, you take that. Is Mac Jones?
I think it's based on what his grade is.
I talked to an NFL guy this weekend who told me that he would love to see one more year at Mac Jones.
And I said that to say this kid is a competitor. I mean, he really loves college football. And you can watch him out there on the field, Martin and Ryan. He is having a blast. Okay, Dante got the Heisman this year. A lot of people need a goal to maybe not come back. Well, he has a goal now, a big one. Not only will he win this year's national championship, that's right, I said it, he's also come back and win another. And so I feel like Waddle may come back. What would he have to lose? Dante did. Nobody thought Dante would, but I did. I told you that, Ryan Fowler, that Dante was coming back. And he actually shocked me.
Well, and we got to wrap it up. But let me say this, Johnny. How much do we spend saluting Najee Harris, Devontae Smith?
Oh, I'm telling you.
Of these guys,
Leatherwood,
of reestablishing. In other words, that they're not happy with what we did last year. And I hope that's the standard every year, that we're disappointed with not winning a national title, because we'll know that we're on the top. Martin?
Hey, Ryan, just a shout-out. Basketball's beating Florida 65-47.
What about that, Robert? Really? Get her done. Roll Tide, guys.
Thank you, John.
65-47. I know you're a basketball guy, so I had to give you that update.
Listen, I opened up Monday's show of talking about Alabama's upset win in Tennessee.
Yeah.
In the first segment.
Yeah. Wow. Missed that. That's history making.
Oh, no, I think something's different about Nate Evans.
You like him.
I didn't like Grant, but I like Avery Johnson. But I think it was an in-professional college type thing. Just something, I don't know. It just something feels different about Nate Evans.
He's a lot like Saban in his own way.
Martin Houston wakes you up tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. We'll have a lot of reaction. We're going to be talking with at least one Heisman Trophy winner tomorrow. And we'll celebrate Devontae Smith. Alabama captures a third Heisman Trophy. Martin, parting words. Anything out there else we need to get out of here?
Well, just congratulations to the young man, and take the advice he gave you and apply that to every part of your life. When people are doubting you, saying you can't do something, be willing to put the extra work in, and it may even require you to stick around a little longer than you anticipate, but the reward for the grind is worth it. Congratulations, Devontae Smith.
So we've got the receiver, Desmond Howard, Notre Dame's Tim Brown, Nebraska's Johnny Rogers. That's the only wide receivers. Now they've got a new one in the club. Devontae Smith becomes Alabama's third Heisman winner. Big thanks to Joe Gaither. Big thanks to David DeBose. Bryant, not only were you hanging with me, but we've been with you since 2 o'clock. I appreciate the extra work, man.
Hey, Ryan,
over there.
I know you're getting out of here, but is Devontae the purest wide receiver of all those you just mentioned? Because almost all of those guys had something else.
Well, look at Johnny Jet Rogers.
Tim Brown was a punt returner, kick returner. Yeah.
And, well, Devontae was after we needed him, right? He stepped up in that role, too.
Yeah.
So, all right, the song's got to get us out of here. Martin Houston wakes you up tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., 12 hours of local contact. Big thanks to Bryant once again, man. Tommy Paradise as well. We'll see you guys very soon. Have a wonderful evening. Alabama captures the third Heisman Trophy. Good night, Tuscaloosa.
Roll Tide. See you guys later on the flip side.
Carmen, startup, Angel.